Great to be in game week. A lot to play for, playing a really good football team that's hot right now. We utilize the bye week, work on the fundamentals, and a lot of time on Illinois State, also to get healthier again. At this time of the year, you're going to have guys that are playing with a lot of bumps and bruises, so it's certainly good to get our guys back, get a bounce in their step. As I said, the team we're playing is on a hot streak. They've won 3 games in a row, competitive games in the Valley. Coach Spack's an excellent football coach. They're a really physical football team, and we'll need to play really well to have an opportunity to beat them. So at this time, I'll open up to questions anybody might have.
Health-wise, which one of your guys do you think was most well-served by the bye week?
I think John Crockett, he was continuing to play injured. Levon Perry and Ryan Drevla, all those guys. So I think that was certainly helpful there.
How's Ryan Smith's ankle, Coach?
We'll see this week. I think it's going to determine. We didn't have him do much last week. He felt like he could return to the game against Indiana State, but we chose to go ahead and ice him and set him down. But to say he's back at 100% right now, I couldn't say that, but we're in hopes that he'll be ready to go come Saturday.
What are Illinois State's strengths, in your opinion?
I think they've got an excellent defensive line. Underwood is an outstanding player and has given us fits, and not only us fits, but pretty much everybody in the Valley. They move him around. A big, strong physical group. And then on the flip side, I think their offensive line, a lot of returning players with great size. And so their lines of scrimmage, both sides are a really physical football team with a lot of veteran players.
What do you think has served them so well in this winning streak the last couple of years?
I think they've been able to run the football. Anytime that you can move the ball on the ground, that's going to open up a lot of things. And then they've been able to make teams one-dimensional. And that's due in large part because of their front seven. They're playing very well.
Have you seen the quarterback, freshman kid,
Winkler, he's completing 61% of his passes. Big shoes to fill from last year. They settled in on, a style of play. I think he manages the game well. He's got a good ability to throw the ball short, and they will throw it up deep. And so anytime you've got a guy that's completing 61% of his passes and, got a good, quarterback rating, I think he's doing a nice job for him.
Has the scheme changed for them in terms of what they did last year? A lot of stuff was a lot of throwing, quick throws and everything. Is that still the same type of offense they run?
A little bit, Ryan. They've got a lot of tools in their toolbox. But as I said, the biggest thing you've seen them be able to do is, I thought against Northern Iowa they ran the ball very effectively and controlled the line of scrimmage there.
What was the biggest change your team had to make from last week to this week, or from your last game going into Illinois State?
Going into Illinois State, I think certainly we needed to be fresher. We played Illinois State last year. I think we were a tired, beat-up football team. We were fortunate to come up with a win on the road. We've got to bring a great deal more energy, and so that's going to be important for us to do, is be able to play really fast, and we're in hopes the bye weeks can allow us to do that.
What is about Ben LeComte that you like, your coaches like? What is it about?
Well, he's, I think, been awfully consistent. Very rarely do you find a guy that can not place kick, but kick off and punt. He's been, he's been really good as far as consistency, where the ball's supposed to go. I think he's been an excellent punter as far as pinning people inside the 20. And then if you need him to boom one, he's done that as well. And so he's been a really good weapon for us. He's a seasoned vet and has performed big in a lot of our games.
He's a seasoned vet, and he's only a sophomore. Does he play older than what he is?
I think so. I think a lot of it, Jeff, is, his mental makeup. He was a positional player at Barrington High School, did a lot of different things. So he's a really good athlete. And so his attention to detail and being able to stay composed has really been, I think he's years above where he would think a guy his age would be. And he's an awfully solid person, and so he performs well under pressure. And that's really hard to do. You think of the skill set that, a punter or a kicker has to do, is your time frame is pretty doggone, slim, and you've got to go out and produce during those opportunities. He's done a great job at that.
You You've got pretty good luck with like 4-year punters, you know, you kind of bring them in 4 years at a time.
Yeah, I think a lot of schools may do that. I know that's what we've done. Once you find a guy, you try to cultivate him. We felt coming in that Ben would be an excellent punter. We had known that he had place kicked and kicked also, but we utilized his skill in punting, and so we've groomed him there. And then he's developed also into an excellent kickoff guy.
Coach, without giving away the kitchen sink, what do you think, is there one thing to pinpoint why you've had such good success after a bye week? You guys always seem to win, seemingly?
You know, I didn't know that. You know, I think some of it has come down to a mature staff and a mature football team. You've got to be able to, you know, you don't want to go out there and scrimmage every day. You know, you need to make sure that your guys are fresh and healthy, but certainly paying attention to detail. A lot of guys, okay, hey, it's game week, I'm going to get ready to play now. Well, you can't do that if you're going to want to utilize a week well. You got to say, okay, you know what, yeah, the game's over a week away, but we have these fundamental things that we need to correct, or we have these schematic things that we need to make sure we can go out and execute them, and execute them at a high level of competency. And our guys have had a good, mature attitude and gone out and done that. And we'll need to have that same attitude. We had a good week of practice last week. Our preparation was good for striking the balance on weight room work and meetings and staying fresh, but also getting enough work into getting ourselves ready to play against a very good team.
What changes for you, I guess, during a bye week? You know, what do you, not personally, but like what do you do? What do you do professionally to get
What do I do professionally? You know, we spend a little bit more time in recruiting. I think it's always important. We found several years ago that you just can't say you're going to start recruiting after the season's over. And if you're fortunate enough to get into playoff play, we stubbed our toe, and so we spent quite a bit of time in recruiting. You know, certainly, extra preparation on our next week's opponent is important. And then spending time with our players as far as developing their skills. Sometimes you can become so focused on what another team's doing, you're not looking at what you can do better. You know, you're at the tail end of the year, and even though you say, okay, your lineups are entrenched, those guys got to get better, and so we looked at things to improve our football team as well.
After how this past weekend shook out in the conference, are you starting to see at all how this may shake out 2 or 3 weeks? I know you got to worry about Illinois State, but how things are maybe planning out here for the end of November and December?
Dom, as a media guy, you have the latitude to do that. And I understand that and respect where you guys are at. Our charge is everything. We're on a 1-game schedule. And so we're very focused on Illinois State. And that's not coaching rhetoric. It's an important thing for us to stay very focused on this game, and then we'll focus on the next game after that.
It's got to be different, though, Coach. I mean, there's some teams that, frankly, don't have a lot to play for in November. You guys do. That's got to at least mean a lot more to a program like yours, doesn't it?
Well, I can remember the years when we didn't have a lot to play for. It's not a lot of fun. So our guys have had a good attitude, and we recognize that there's an awful lot to play for. Our number one goal is to win the Missouri Valley Conference, and you're not going to do that by not taking care of business. And we think it's really important for us to take care of our own selves as opposed to counting on somebody else. And so that's our task at hand, getting our guys ready to go. Attitude has been excellent in practice during the bye week. I thought our guys had good energy and stayed focused, and had productive practices.
So Illinois State brings in a lot of FBS transfers, something you guys barely ever do. What do you kind of see with that, with FBS guys transferring to the FCS, and something that you guys don't do a whole lot?
Well, every program can lay its foundation differently. First of all, personally, I have a great deal of respect for Coach Spack, and they've had good teams, and they have another good football team. Certainly schools will look at the one-time transfer rule and say, you know what, this is an opportunity for these guys to come in and contribute. We have not had great success with 4-year transfers. We've had some, but that's not been our MO, and quite frankly, we've had a mixed bag of results, and so we feel like for us, maybe in our region of the country, it's better to develop our players And so that's the route we've chosen. But you know what? I've seen Illinois State have some really good, competent football players who transferred, and so we're prepared.
You get a sense you guys might be more fresh with 2 bye weeks, with the stretch to come with 3 weeks to go than in past years. You only had the luxury of 1.
I think so. We've not had a bye week at this time like this, and so the proof's going to be in the pudding of the energy level that we play with. We've had a real rigorous stretch here, and so we're in hopes that come Saturday, at 2:30, we're really ready to run and play really hard. Anything else? Thanks a lot.